What if I told you there was one lens that could compress time, flatten space, and even turn the most ordinary scene into something unforgettable? This is the Canon RF 72-200 f2.8, a lens that helped me capture my greatest photos. For decades, the 72-200 2.8 has been called the workhorse for professionals. The lens photographers rely on for portraits, sports, weddings, travel. This focal range has shaped the way we see images. But on the RF mount, Canon didn't copy the past. They redesigned it. Smaller, lighter, more portable than ever. It takes the tradition of the 72-200 and compresses it into a form that feels unusual, but a welcome change to the bulkier and heavier predecessors. It's weather sealed, solid, the control ring is smooth, and every switch is precise. You can't really ask for much more when it comes to a premium telephoto lens. The real story, however, is in the images it creates. On telephoto focal lengths, backgrounds don't just blur, they collapse into layers. Buildings, trees, and streets flatten into stacked frames. They look more like paintings than photographs. At f2.8, subjects separate with depth and dimension. The image stabilization unlocks moments you'd normally miss. Sharp frames at shutter speeds you wouldn't really expect. Handheld shots at full zoom that feel steady. For photographers, this means freedom. Freedom to step back, observe, and capture without compromise. I understood the full power of this lens during a trip to South Korea. Seoul is a city of layers, neon streets, crowded markets, alleyways that go for kilometers on end. This lens let me capture all of it in ways no other focal length could. Looking back at these photos made me realize that photography is my true artistic passion. While I do consider myself to be a hybrid shooter, being able to capture a moment in one frame feels so much more memorable and fulfilling in comparison to a series of frames combined into a video. The satisfaction of pressing the shutter, instantly feeling that euphoria of what you've captured, and continuing to perfect it in post-production gives me this indescribable feeling that nothing else even compares to. Of course, like any lens, there are trade-offs. The extended zoom isn't ideal for video rigs or gimbals. The lens can't use Canon's teleconverters, which means you're capped at 200mm unless you switch to a crop mode. And at around $3,000, it's firmly within the professional price range. But each compromise was deliberate. Canon chose portability and practicality over brute force. And in that practice, those choices make sense. For me, this lens represents intimacy from afar. It helps me capture people without interrupting their world. It allows me to tell stories by not standing in the middle of the action, but rather stepping back and shaping the scene from a distance. The Canon RF 72-200 2.8 is more than just a lens. It's perspective. It's distance transformed into emotion. A reminder that sometimes the space between you and your subject is where the story really lives.